Recently, we have learned Adobe's Generative Fill is very impressive. It can extend images, add things, remove things very, very well. And today I'm gonna do a much requested video idea by you guys, me versus AI. The best thing yet, Adobe themselves sponsored this video to make it all possible, so big thanks to them. Many people think AI is gonna replace us artists, but I'm here to prove to you that this particular one is just here to help us out. Let's get started. This video is gonna be me competing against Photoshop Generative Fill and Adobe Firefly. Not to be confused with many other AI tools, this is just me against Adobe's AI. And the thing is, this competition could be considered fair because Adobe Firefly uses Adobe stock exclusively. And well, I'm out here, an artist using stock photos also. The AI just seems to be a much faster learner, but is only that enough? But let's first create some typical Benny artwork using Photoshop, and then later we can see what we can do using Generative Fill and Adobe Firefly. My process always begins with me placing down my images and creating a nice and balanced composition. I made sure to fix the perspective of the van because it was a bit off. I filled up the corner there and instantly removed its wheels to replace with train wheels. This thing is literally driving on a train track. I popped in a desert background, removed the sky and replaced it with a sunset vibe. I began color correcting the separate background images to make sure they blend together nicely and look like they're one full landscape. The train track took some work because it's very different from the background, but eventually we got there. I did the exact same thing to the van, of course, using coloring and mostly shadows to fix the lighting direction. And I made sure to blend in the wheels a tad better. It already started to look a little bit more cohesive. The shadows below the van were the most important by far, making the whole thing 20 times more accurate and believable. For a fun detail, I thought let's turn on the headlights. I first made them super bright using exposure and then added a nice warm orange glow to make it lit as heck. This had to be super soft for the best effect. I did some more subtle blending and well, there's the base of our image. On the ground, I thought it'd be fun to put a sign of some sort, and then I found this train sign. I put it flat on the surface and used masks and coloring to really put it in there. Once that was complete, it was time to add some action. Those wheels are super rusty, so let's bring some action into this by adding some sparks on the track. This also made it look a lot faster than it actually is. I put some smoke on it as well, and boom, lovely stuff. Then another big thing, a giant jet engine attached to the top of the car because that's just badass. I cut it out accordingly and added the necessary shadows and coloring to spice it up. Of course, we needed some thruster fire in the back, and well, that really sells the speed effect. Also, the sparks make sense now because the wheel simply cannot keep up. Now it's time for some final touches like the Volkswagen logo, for example. Let's make that thing nice and glowy. And I also thought let's add some fireworks rockets catching up with this van, some graffiti on the side maybe, and a camera raw filter. And that looked about like this. I'd say that's a relatively simple but still cool image to use for this challenge. Let's see what Adobe's Generative Fill and Firefly can cook up for us. I'm gonna start with this basic image because I felt like it works better if it has something to start off with. So let's see what happens. Let's first go and select the top half, kind of like that, and say desert, landscape, and a sunset sky. That should be pretty much it. Let's see what happens. Okay, let's see what else we've got. The angle is a bit off. I mean, this is not too bad. It's a bit weird though. The angle doesn't necessarily match. Ooh, the angle is better. I'm just not really agreeing with this sky. Hold up. Look at these. These are actually very cool. Especially this one. The angle is perfect as well. Okay. Let's fill up this tiny corner here as well, which we already know it's very good at this kind of stuff. There you go. Look at these. That's crazy. Anyway, I guess that's a pretty decent start. Then we're gonna need the van. So let's kind of select this area here. And well, let's see. Let's try red retro minibus. Let's first begin with that and see what happens. Ayo. Bro, that's it only has one wheel. Okay, this one's not too far off. It's a bit, what happens if we say red and white? Because technically the one we made is red and white. Let's see. Ooh, hey, that's actually, color-wise, that's a lot closer. If only this had more wheels. If only it had more... But wait a minute, that doesn't have to be a problem, does it? Let's just make one. And in fact, let's say train wheel. I'm so curious what's gonna happen to this. I'd be very surprised if it actually does what I need. Oh my god. What? Oh my... Okay, but that's insane. I mean, it's not on the track, but I can forgive that. That's crazy. Dude, okay, what if we change this one as well? Dude, what? Then, like my version, we're gonna need some graffiti on the side of this van. So let's kind of select this random area and say colorful graffiti. I don't know what other info I could give it. That seems pretty much it. Oh, damn, dude. Oh, that's actually pretty cool. I like this. Although this one's also kind of nice. Yeah, let's go with this. Then I feel like the most challenging thing is gonna be the jet engine on top. Because like, what? Let's kind of select an area like this and say jet engine attached to the top of this bus. Is that gonna do it? I don't know. Let's see. Oh. Okay. What? No, that's not it. Let's try again with a bit of a bigger area here. Okay. Okay. That's better already. Slowly we're getting there, but it's not quite it. Let's try plane engine. Just put an entire plane on there. Okay. Oh! Oh, hey. Oh, dude, it actually does understand what I mean. That's crazy. Although I'm curious what else he can cook up, so let's just try 3 more. Oh, this even has some red in it. That's dope. Okay. Okay, I like that. And of course, on the ground here, we also have that, the train sign kind of thing. So let's select an area and say sign laying on the ground. Yellow train sign laying flat on the ground seems to have done it. That is, it's not the same, obviously, but it's, I mean, it's pretty close. That's the same idea. And then, of course, my version has a bunch of fireworks in the background as well. So, you know what? Let's just go ahead and say fireworks. Yeah, I guess that's fireworks. Well, guys, then I feel like these are all the elements that I have in mind as well, apart from the firework rockets. But yeah, obviously it's not the same kind of thing. It's not as artistic. It's a bit more generic, I guess. But the idea is there, and it's pretty crazy that I could do this with just a bunch of clicks, instead of spending like, I don't know, 2 hours on it. I am noticing though that this is probably best used as more of a tool instead of trying to generate full images with it, because you just don't have that much control over it. But say for this tiny corner that was missing also in the original, I could have used this and it would have been so much faster and better as well. Most of all, just better. So let's try this whole thing a few more times and see what happens. Now, here we are at Adobe Firefly, the real thing. Let's see how far we can get using this. Obviously, this creates full-on images, so let's try. A train track, desert landscape. Let's first go with this, hit generate and see what happens. I haven't really played around with this. Oh, interesting. This is not realistic though. Wait a minute. Let's choose photo right here. And then let's say this is going to be a portrait, because that's what we've been doing so far. Here you go. See, that's a lot better already. It's a bit more realistic. Oh, that is a very interesting rocket right there. What an interesting design. Very interesting. Let's try a similar prompt, just a bit different, because this is not really what I mean. It's close. It's kind of what I mean, but not really. I'm just gonna see how close we can get. I like how dynamic these are, that's for sure. It does these a lot faster than Generative Fill, which is pretty cool. So all of these are close. They have similar elements of what I want, but they're just not the whole picture. Especially the jet engine just either just flies above or flies over it or is completely missing. So, these are very realistic looking, but then still the rocket, I mean, this one is attached and this one is attached as well. That's cool. Oh wow, this one is cool, dude. What? Okay, that is okay. Yep, that is pretty cool. Look at all the detail on the engine, dude. Okay, I gotta admit, that is really cool. What the hell? I'm gonna save that. Okay. See, every now and then it just cooks up this absolutely insane result. You just have to know how, and I mean, sometimes you just have to click refresh again and it cooks up this. There are also a bunch of different styles you can choose. Maybe let's try digital art. That may just give you completely different results. I guess there's only one way to find out. No, those are pretty similar actually. A bit more stylized, I'd say, but pretty similar. Let's see here. You have color and tone. Let's say vibrant color and lighting. We can do dramatic. Now I'm pretty sure it's gonna do something completely different, because this is nothing like what I did before. Let's see, here you go. Now that's artistic. Wow, okay. This one is kind of interesting. It seems like the engine is on sideways, but other than that, let's click show similar and see what it does. Maybe it actually creates one that has a correct engine on top. Here you... Dude, what? There's a cockpit inside? Oh, that's sick. Sometimes it creates these absolutely insane results. That's crazy. What if we remove the red and white as well and just kind of have him decide that? Basically giving him less information. I'm curious what happens because he's gonna fill in all of those details himself. I mean, you have less control, but it's more interesting. Wow, that's crazy. Dude, I can see this being like a genuine source of inspiration for people. That's crazy, dude. Like, this may not be the ultimate result, but I definitely get ideas from this. Like, what if I made something like this myself? Bro, there is just a complete jet on there. Oh, that's crazy. It's really cool, actually. It's so unexpected as well. Do you get very different results if you choose widescreen? I'm curious. That's actually pretty close. Like the angle and everything. That's cool. What if we tilt that a little bit? Like first we make it the same aspect ratio as mine. Then we kind of tilt it like so it matches. Or actually, never mind. It's the other way. Is it the other way around? The perspective is a little bit different, so it's not going to be the exact same. But let's say this. It's a bit more dynamic. And then the top and bottom we can just fill in using generative fill. And like that we can make a fully new image. Let's see, here you go. That's pretty decent. Now that is a pretty artsy, pretty cool looking edit. I feel like there's a lot to take away from this. First off, as far as generative fill goes, it can blend photos together, but harmonization is still a problem, I feel like. It can fill in the gaps between photos, but it doesn't really harmonize the entire picture and turn it into a nice, consistent photo. And also, very understandably though, it cannot create brands or IPs or famous logos, that sort of stuff. If you want to use those, you're gonna have to do that manually. However, extending images, it does better and faster than I feel like anyone could ever do. That's where it shines the absolute most, I think. And the same goes for adding small elements or sometimes even big elements to existing photos. It can be a bit of trial and error every now and then, but overall I'd say the results are pretty amazing. Especially with the right prompts, you can cook up some crazy stuff. But then there is Adobe Firefly, which is something completely different. It can create beautiful images on its own with incredible detail, as you've probably seen. I mean, it doesn't need much explanation, I feel like. It is kind of limited by your own creativity in terms of prompts. What I think this is absolutely fantastic for is either quick results, you just want to have a quick image for something, or you are looking for ideas, or you have an idea, you're just not sure how to visualize it, you can literally just type it in and it will give you fantastic looking ideas. I've had a few times during the preparation of this video where I just kind of tried some random stuff and I felt very inspired, to be completely honest. Like, it can really widen your horizon in a way, and I think that is where it shines the absolute brightest. Once again, I keep going back to this same thing. For those who feel intimidated by features like this, please don't. These ones, at least, are here to help you out, to help you along the way, to make things easier, faster, better. Not to change you, not to replace you. I highly recommend just trying it out. Play around with it, see what it does, see what happens, and I bet you're gonna be surprised. It is simply a ton of fun. And then I guess for today, that is pretty much it. Big thanks to Adobe for making this entire thing possible. If you like this video, make very sure to leave a like, subscribe, hit the bell not to miss a single video, and then I hope I'll see you in the next one.